on today's episode of The Game Chasers.
You look like you have a lot of video games stashed away.
He is living in fucking fantasy land.
Please let us dig through it.
This is that wow factor I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, what, give me a ballpark number.
Don't say you're gonna bring them.
Well, we're going down Dookie River. Here we go.
Well, it's that time again to wake up sleeping unbeauty once more from his slumber so we can go out and go to a flea market and look for video games.
Test 1 2 12 1 2 balls.
Oh, he has arisen. Good morning, sir.
Trying to give me a game?
I was really hoping he'd be asleep so we could get to wake him up again and watch him go, "Rawr!"
You look like the biggest
Balls. What are you doing? Why are you always fucking filming me?
Didn't we say, was it 9:30 we said?
9:30.
Huh.
My alarm's been going off since fucking 8:30. Y'all aren't here, I'm not waking up. Yeah.
That's a good point. I do the exact same thing.
All right, so we are going to a flea market, a little small town outside the Metroplex.
Yeah, he just mowed a bunch of lawns yesterday and did some yard work, so he's got some money to spend.
That's
Oh, by the way, we're all going to need that, by the way. I guess it looks a little bigger once you get up close.
It don't look like much though. This flea market looks pretty bare.
This is a new flea market for us. We've never been before. It's about an hour and a half away, pushing 2. Well, for me, it's about 2 hours. I hope they have something.
Switching.
I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about this.
This place looks like a barren wasteland.
My sweat was running down my ass crack.
Start over there or start over here?
I don't think it matters. A bare flea market like this could go one of two ways. A, nothing here to be found and everyone knows it sucks in the area, so that's why they're not here. Or B, no one's here and there's going to be a treasure trove of gaming goodness.
I don't have a lot of confidence in this whole anything.
Pro pad? You need a pro pad?
Whenever we go to a flea market, this always happens. We see a little controller here, a memory card there, AV cables there.
I'm seeing like a bunch of alarm clocks and calculators and gadgets, and usually it's just worth looking just in case there's a Game & Watch. I don't know.
Video games at one point used to be here, and who knows, maybe they still are, but it's like little breadcrumbs.
Oh, a chorus line? Nice.
I do look for some VHS when I'm out. I don't buy anything and everything. I keep it, I guess like most collectors do. You're gonna buy the stuff you want.
You can check there, but I don't think on the other side.
So we come to this booth here, and I'm looking at CDs, and usually people will put games, movies, CDs all together.
Melrose Place soundtrack.
It's close to a video game.
Maybe as close as we're gonna get.
Definitely nothing that I'm interested in even remotely.
It's a little closer.
We're getting there. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's like that game. You're getting warmer. Except I'm not really warming up to anything I want.
This right here is kind of a bust, but then I look and I see that there are some PS2s.
How much you asking for these?
10 each.
10 each?
Mm-hmm.
So Billy came across 2 PlayStation 2 Slims here. If you can get these cheap, it's always worth picking up.
I'm interested in these because they're a lot more uncommon than the big fat ones, which I have.
I prefer the Fat Boys, honestly.
This place is, like I said, a dusty bowl of just dirt. And these things are covered in said dirt. The ground I'm standing on is dirt.
The thing about this, I have no idea if these work. Would you do 10 for both, like together?
I definitely want to try to bundle them up. You know, maybe one doesn't work, but the other one does. You know, you're hedging your bets a little bit.
15.
15 total?
Yeah.
There's one cord.
Yeah, that's one for that.
I'm okay with that. So it's essentially $7.50 each.
$7.50. You're assuming all risk.
All right, yeah, that's fine. 15.
Looking at them, I'm doubting that they work. Who knows? I might be surprised. But looking at them, they don't look like they work.
Gotta get something. You look like you have a lot of video games stashed away.
No.
To my knowledge, I don't think they go for any more than the original Fat Boy PS2s. I think they're about the same.
So we mainly look for the old stuff, like old Nintendo, Atari, stuff like that. You don't have anything like that laying around at home?
I don't know. Not just the Atari algo.
I'm always asking, and usually it's no, but sometimes you get lucky. Didn't get lucky here.
Check with us next weekend or the weekend after.
Sure.
And I'll check on them.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, so outside of these PlayStation 2s, not much being found. We're gonna, canvas the rest of this flea market. Hopefully we can find some gold, some old gold.
That actually looks fun. Price is right on the weed.
All right, so we go into this 110. There's a gentleman here that he doesn't have any video games outright, but you ask.
Get like old school video games, like Atari, Nintendo, stuff like that.
Look, last thing this guy's gonna have is games.
Yeah, like we collect all the old.
Oh yeah, like the ping, pong, all that
stuff. Yeah.
And he's saying that he does at home. Actually in his storage unit.
I got a lot of that shit. I got a bunch of them stored too.
Really?
You know us. When we hear something like that, we've gotta go dig through it. Please let us dig through it.
Well, people have to let us take a look at it.
I can bring it up here because, like I say, it's an hour appearance in my storage.
One of those classic cases of I got some stuff in my storage. Well, can we go? And that's a no-go. He's shutting that down like immediately and often.
Not up for the idea of us going to his storage unit and rummaging through his stuff. He's not even up for us going to his storage unit, period. Like, to even know where it is.
I'll be honest, like, it's me, Wood, and Billy there. I wouldn't let us come to my storage either. Look at us. I mean, look at Billy. He's obviously up to no good.
We'll just meet you somewhere halfway. You can just get the boxes. No. Can you at least give us your number so we can know?
I'll be bringing a bunch.
No, the more the merrier.
It's according if I can get all the dominoes in a row where everybody's where they need to be, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, the more the merrier. Okay, so here we go. He'll bring the stuff next weekend. We're never gonna see it. Like, that's a promise. You know how many times we've heard this?
Like, there could be just boxes and boxes of amazing stuff just buried away at a storage unit.
Yeah, that dude was like, you look at those Nintendo tapes too? Those Nintendo tapes? He's like, I got that one with the boxer on the front. Mike Tyson goes, yeah. In the box? Like in the box? He goes, yeah.
Well, I guess we're gonna come back next week then, don't we? All right, so we got a potential lead here, and honestly, 99% of the time, leads don't pan out. They forget about you.
His biggest reason for us not doing all the legwork was that he had guns in the storage unit. I still don't know why that's an issue.
Please bring them next weekend. Or at least give us your phone number, and since you're not going to do that, then please just bring them. Since you said you were going to bring them. That's all I ask. Otherwise, just say maybe, or I don't know. Don't say you're going to bring them!
What'd you do?
I spilled soda all over my crotch.
We're gonna take the long, almost 2-hour trek back home. Luckily for us, there's some few places that we can hit on the way, and one of them is a big giant flea market. Well, it's not so big, somewhere in between a flea market and an antique store, probably leaning a little bit more towards an antique store more than anything.
Honestly, with antique stores like this, it's not a matter of will we find anything, it's a matter of what kind of price we're gonna find things at.
So we were passing through Waxahachie, decided to stop at this place. It's been a while. It's been probably about 5 years since we've been here, and it kind of sucked, so I don't expect much.
All right, I come across something that I actually really love to collect are these old TV trays. Oh yeah. 15 though?
That's not a good price. Not in that condition.
This one's a Mr. T one, which I don't have Mr. T one, but this one's in terrible condition. They want $15 for it like this? I don't think so.
Generally, an antique store is this big. There's at least one person selling games, and we finally came across them.
Men.
Surprisingly, they got decent prices here.
I want something out of the ordinary. Yeah, I'm looking for that wow factor, I think.
So I'm seeing something that's really catching my eye here, and that's 2 lunch boxes.
Go box. No thermos, but it's $5. And no thermos, but it's $9. One is a Legend of Zelda lunchbox, the other one is a GoBots lunchbox.
I'm tempted on this, but
Do you not have that?
Nah, I don't have a lunchbox.
And that one's only $5 too.
I kind of want the Nintendo one more though.
Get the Nintendo one. It's a little damaged up, but it's cheap. These were plastic, but back in the day, these lunchboxes used to be metal. And the cooler the TV show or cartoon that was on your lunchbox, you know, kind of like you had a little more clout sitting at lunch, you know. I remember having a G.I. Joe one when I was a kid.
I'm gonna get one, and I'm gonna go with the Mario and the Zelda one just because I've not seen this one, and I like it. I like the GoBots one too, and maybe I'm an idiot for not getting this GoBots one.
Melvor would have had She-Ra, Rainbow Bright. I remember being at the store one day and my mom was like, Transformers or Popples? And he was like, give me the Popples. It's a weird thing. Whatever. I'm not going to judge, to each his own. But...
You look like the biggest
This is that wow factor I'm talking about. I can sound like an idiot saying that. Odd and unusual. This Dukes of Hazzard watch in the box. All right, I gotta get this. This watch is $10. I think it's worth every bit of that and then some, especially since it's boxed. This thing is very, very minty.
Wow.
I had never seen it before.
You don't watch the show?
I have never seen this Nintendo 64 Mario camera before.
I have never seen it before other than on the show.
Wow, he's lying now. Interesting.
Why? When did you get this?
Last episode, actually.
Oh, really?
And it's so cool that I kind of want it. I used to have disposable cameras when I was a kid, and I don't know, this nostalgia trip is working in so many ways for me right now.
Not bad pricing. You know what the thing is right now? I need all of these. But we need to go to a flea market so I can...
Hey, these prices are still good.
So I feel like with these prices on these games, I have to get something here.
Oh, you know what? I need this one.
And I come across one that I don't have, and that's Roadrunner's Death Valley Rally. I know nothing about this one. I've never played it. I kind of think I've seen screenshots in Nintendo Power at one point. I'm wanting to say it's some kind of a racing game. I mean, it makes sense if it's Roadrunner. You're probably running from the Coyote, maybe like a running sort of racing / platforming game.
Collect stamps?
I don't, but it's Star Wars, so you're more collecting Star Wars than anything.
It's pretty cool.
I didn't have high expectations in this big red barn because it was a bust last time we were here, but we walked out with some pretty cool stuff for really good prices. That lunchbox was like $5. You can't go wrong with that. And maybe I should have gotten the GoBots one. I guess when I'm home, I'll regret it.
I found that Dukes of Hazzard watch. I'm happy with it, happy with the price I paid. At the end of the day, guys, if you're happy with what you paid for something, then it was a good price. Yeah.
So I made a contact at a resale shop. Through the course of buying video games from them, they said, hey, you should probably give this guy a call. He's got a bunch of stuff and he's ready to sell. He's down. He's been holding on to this stuff for years and he wants to get rid of it.
This guy says he has video games and has agreed to let us come and check it out and rummage through his stuff.
I love them. I just don't have time to play.
So first inspection on going into this guy's place is he's really got a lot of pre-NES stuff, a lot of Atari stuff.
This box here has a chess piece on it. Okay, and it's got a heavy sixer inside of it. And if you notice, there's no chess piece on the other box.
He's got a bunch of box Atari stuff, and the boxes are pretty minty. It was taken care of, that's for sure.
Okay, so this is what we're focusing on, the Atari stuff. That's cool.
That's awesome, though. That's because
This is motocross on this side. You turn it on, you pick your level, the expert or novice. You pick whether you want to do cycle or games.
Chris seems pretty excited about all this stuff, especially the handlebars. It's about right, considering he's redneck.
That would be a hella cool piece for me, for my collection. Did you know that was out there? I never even...
I've seen it, but not.
Now there's
not
this is the Telegames, the Sears Telegames version. Atari has their own. I can't remember the name of it.
He's breaking stuff out left and right. Oh yeah, look at this.
I think this was an eBay purchase. This one I'm kind of liking.
Yeah, that's right up Jay's alley.
I have that already. You have this? Yeah.
This feels more like we're getting a museum tour than us just looking for stuff to buy. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. He's very clearly proud of the stuff that he has, which is a red flag.
Hopefully we can get him to come off some of this, because I can just tell by the way he's talking, it ain't gonna be easy.
These boxes here are full of games. You can look at it if you want to.
Yeah, let's get some switcheroo going. All right, so he pulls out a box or two of some Atari games. Let's see what we got going here.
One of those boxes is a bunch of Atari controller parts.
When it comes to Atari stuff, honestly, I have quite a bit, so I'm not necessarily seeing something that just stands out like I have to have it.
Kid's got one of these, and those balls didn't stay in the ball pit very long.
Oh, really?
Wow, yeah. Pretty hilarious.
Okay. Extra controllers.
And unfortunately, I have every one of these Atari games, like every one of them, which kinda is not cool.
A couple of NES controllers.
Oh,
some more games.
Yeah.
Tapeworm. I don't have that one.
I don't have it either. I don't have that one on top either.
I don't either. Back off.
Wait.
Well, it's not fair. You don't get all of them.
I mean, he's holding them. And
I have boxes shoved here and there. I'm sure there's...
What's that?
We see this Atari game called Boing, and it's got to be uncommon because I've never seen it before. And the reason I can say that is as long as I've been doing this, I've seen a lot of Atari games. I've never run across Boing before. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but I have a feeling this thing is pretty uncommon.
Yeah, I bought that off of eBay. That was a good one.
And he doesn't want to sell the Boing. The special edition ET cartridge.
is it?
No, he's trolling you.
Oh, they threw a bunch of these away in that landfill, didn't they?
They dug them up too.
Yeah, they were there.
Not as many as they thought. But
Yeah.
There's some.
Yeah.
The replay on Atari 2600 is duty butts. It's horrible. No one. I've got Atari games. Whatever. I'm not live streaming Atari. Okay, on the 2600. I'm not doing it. I don't even think you can. AV cables. It's cool. Oh, look at this. I'm getting a chubby over this boxed NES that he has. Because I want a boxed NES, I want a boxed Super Nintendo, a boxed Nintendo 64. I want some display pieces for my game room, right? Did you just fart? The door's shut, there's no ventilation in here. You about as awesome as it gets right there. There's your poster.
I have like 17 of those.
Really?
Yeah.
he was very young when we got our original NES. We got it a couple of years after it had been out.
See, and that don't even make any sense. Like, you had enough time playing it by yourself growing up before I started playing and could play that you should have been like, okay, let's give him a turn. No, you literally got to play for about 2 years by yourself until I figured out how to actually play. I'm definitely interested in this guy and that Nintendo right there. I actually remember playing Super Mario 2 a lot with my grandmother, so that has a lot of nostalgia for me. And anytime she would come up while playing Mario 2 into a hard part where she thought she was about to die, she would start screaming, "Oh Lord, horse of a different color." She'd come to a hard part and then be like, just start screaming, "Oh Lord, horse of a different color, horse of a different," and I'm like, what does that even mean? Now growing up, like, and being like Western and cowboy and, you know, being on ranches and stuff, hey, that's a good, hey, I like the color of that horse. That horse has got a different color. I've never heard anybody scream it into a TV while playing Super Mario Brothers 2.
It's a pretty minty box.
Yeah, it is.
It is pretty minty. I love the Super Mario 2 box. I don't know what it is about the box.
It's time to start doing some nut cutting and talking prices and deals, right?
I'm
Definitely like
kinda,
the Nintendo.
I'm not a Nintendo kind of guy.
Well, I guess that works out better for me.
That
huh?
does help you.
I've got a boxed NES action set in front of me. I want it coming home with me. I've got a little bit of extra dough. I'm trying to sit here
Boxed
and...
NESs go for around
140.
cheaper than that, man.
I think an inbox NES these days is going for what, 100, 120 maybe?
No, I'm not saying what I'm asking because that means I'm asking.
Well, what? Give me a ballpark number.
Well, I can tell you that I paid, and I know that doesn't matter what I. In fact, it might be on it what I paid. Yeah, there's what I paid. I paid
Okay.
a little less than that.
Okay. I'm like, why would you do that? I know we're up S Creek, man. I'm looking over at Jay. Jay doesn't have a paddle. Billy's sitting in the nose of the boat looking back at me, and I'm like, well, we're going down Dookie River. Here we go.
But, and I realize it doesn't matter. The market goes up and down.
I'll throw 120 at it. $100, $120. Nope, not even anywhere near this guy's price because he is living in fantasy land.
I'd be better if I just kept it.
I mean, that's up to you.
So look, anything this guy was considering selling, he priced so high that he, I think, knew we weren't going to buy.
Not selling anything.
The reason that's still here is I was interested in them too. It didn't go with all the others.
Right.
You know, Mario's what we always played.
Oh yeah. So he is not selling anything. I'm like, okay, well maybe I can talk him into giving me this minty box of Mario 2 for, you know. And it's not even like I was getting a deal on it. I'm like, I'm willing to pay a little bit over what it's, you know, $5, even $10 just to walk away with something at this point. Oh no, all negotiations have been stopped.
I'm really feeling the vibe that I need to go out and start buying stuff instead of selling stuff, I think. It's time. You got me all inspired.
No,
you got me all inspired.
No, you don't need any more. This is all just worthless junk. Go get in the car before I have one of those outbursts.
I think the idea of him selling some games sounded okay when Chris initially brought it up. When we got there, I think it was clear he didn't want to sell anything.
I mean, that would be kind of a first. Usually when we go into a place and somebody's willing to sell, I mean, they're willing to sell. I don't think it's ever happened. We've gone into a place and someone's been like, you know what, on second thought, I'm going to keep everything.
I was trying to get anything going, like an icebreaker, something. You know, because sometimes people like this, even, you know, you can get one thing out of them, maybe you can get a couple more things out of them, but this guy he just wasn't there.
This whole thing's on me, and Jay and Billy are pissed off at me because it was my contact. So he's all, this is your fault. This is your fault. This is your contact. You should have known better. Screw you, Jay.
All right, so Billy and Wood are going to go follow up on the flea market guy. I unfortunately have prior commitments.
Maybe this is that 1% chance that somebody actually follows through with what they're going to do.
It ain't happening.
I expect them to come back with nothing because same song and dance. I know what's coming. I know it's coming. I'll bring it next week.
A little confident here. Like, I think that maybe, and I hope so. Oh God, I hope so, because since Jay's not here, not able to make it, oh, it would be so sweet if everything was mine. I see him, he's here, so now it's time to just run up on him with cameras blazing. Did you bring those games or not?
So,
Did you bring the games?
I didn't. I didn't. I had to work.
And he didn't bring the games.
Yeah.
I just don't think we can make it up here anymore. Just because. All right.
Guy didn't bring the games. Are you anyone surprised that he didn't bring the games that he definitely has? I don't know. I'm along for the ride. It's fine.
Give you my number. Didn't want to give you my number. Didn't want to give you my number. Wasted your time. Wasted your time. Wasted your time. Ah! You suck. Bull.
In all fairness, I said that's what was going to happen. I never got a chance to look at the story.
Look, I secretly knew too that this guy wasn't gonna bring the games because it's the 99% rule. But you still have to follow up on them. You still have to do it.
You're not wrong. You do have to try, but it don't change the fact that, you know, we're now over when it comes to this kind of stuff.
The reason we went back and the reason we were pushing him is because just on the off chance it happens, we didn't want to let it go. And there's always that chance.
No games, whatever. I mean, Wood had a great time. We, you know, explored the city. It's all about the memories and the times that you have and all that stuff. But it would have been better if we had those memories with video games!
Well, we're going down Dookie River. Here we go. That's my memories with the NES. Occasionally getting to play after Billy just got so frustrated with the game that he just lost interest. And then 15 minutes later would come back over and harass me and sit there and cry to our grandmother, "You Christmas to give me a turn," until I would get griped at, and then he would be back on it for another hour and a half. And then,
That's not exactly.
and then when I would go cry, he would go, "Christopher's a liar. I just picked up the controller," and he'd been playing for like 2 hours straight.
Oh, whatever.
Yep. "Christopher, he'll give you the controller in a few more minutes."
Not
and
even.
then 45 minutes later, I'm still sitting there watching this chode freaking